And then they had these things called like flyouts or bus. They took us on a bus to Oberlin, from Chicago to Oberlin. And so I got on one of those my junior year, and I looked at it and I was like, this is kind of a cool place, and they have a lot of black people, and okay, that sounds good. And that was the extent of how I was thinking about college. They had a lot of black people, they served fried chicken at the house, and it sounds like a good place to go. When I talked to my counselor in high school, she said, you're very poor, so you should look at any school you want to go to that you can get into that's private, because they'll pay for it. So the richer the school, the better. So don't look at, so she told me not to apply to state schools, which is unusual kind of advice for poor students. She said you will be under a lot of debt if you apply to University of Illinois. So apply to these schools I've never heard of. So Wesleyan, Bowdoin, Colby, Oberlin, Carleton, Cornell. I've never heard of these places. And so she told me to apply to those places and then take care of me. And that was it. Those are the places I applied. And I applied early decision in Oberlin. Partly because I met a lady named Tammy Dolly Blackman and her husband, Mark Blackman. And they were just like amazing. And so they worked in the missions, and I was like, wow, this is where I want to go to school at. She was very pretty. I know that doesn't matter anything, but she was my mission count. She's very pretty. Her husband was very ugly. I was like, if he's so ugly, he gets this pretty woman. Man, this is good for me. So I want to go here. And so I started. That's why I went there. Everyone just took care of me when I was there, on my visits and things. So it just felt like home. And I applied early decision, so it was the only school I applied to. And I got accepted on December 12th, 1998 at 11 a.m. It was a turning point in my life. I remember the day I went and got my acceptance letter out the mail, and I was so happy. And I remember saying to the post office, man, we were jumping up and down, I got into college. And this homeless dude was like, fuck that shit.
The haters in the post office.
No, it was a homeless dude at the post office.
So, I mean, can you put me in your shoes? Like, what was it like to be you, your first year at Oberlin, like, coming where you came from, your background, and then entering a place like
I thought I wanted to recreate myself at Oberlin. I really did. I want to recreate myself. So the first thing I did was I went out early for, I never played football, but I went out early to play football. And at that time, Oberlin had like 12 people on the football team. And I went out early for 2 weeks. My mother sent me to school with $50 because scholarship money hadn't come in yet and all that stuff. So I had $50 on the campus, and I was there 2 weeks early. On the week into the football stuff, I was like, this is not working for me. Because they wanted us to miss the first day of class. And I was like, I can't do that because I've been waiting on my entire life to have that first day of class in college, and you want me to miss it. And so I quit. And I just had to sit around and eat their food and live in the dorm where the football players live for a week because I didn't have no resources to go back home. Oberlin was hard when I first got there. I was from the south side of Chicago. I was uncouth. I thought I was cultured, but I was just like, I spoke slang. I wore my clothes in a weird way. I ate sometimes my food with my hands because that's how we eat certain things at home. And I felt isolated. I felt alone. I didn't know how to study. I didn't have any friends. I didn't trust people. Everyone would say you talk too fast, or I don't understand what you're saying. I just felt awkward. And so it's just weird, just really awkward. I didn't feel like I fit in. The only thing I fit in was I had 3 other friends from high school who went to school who came to Oberlin with me. So I knew those people. I lived in the black house, but I realized almost immediately that was probably not the best decision because most of the students I was living with were middle-class blacks who went to Sidwell or went to some country day school, and they had a different experience, and their parents were different, and, so I was just alone. And I remember struggling to figure out how I studied because when I was at home, I studied in the kitchen. And I was like, I don't know how to study in a library, and I don't know. And I remember being territorial about my living space. My family was homeless before I went to college. My mother moved into a house the And so I wanted my space to be my space. And so I positioned my bed so my roommate would never have to come into my side of the room. I made my bed every day. I did everything to show that I was different from them and I was going to do well. And I was struggling every day in class. So yeah, that was my experience. But unbeknownst to me, I had a really unique experience too because all my roommates were from Oakland, Ohio. So all my roommates were Oakland, Ohio. They were all kids of faculty or administrators. So that gave me a little bit more support. And so one of my roommates was A.G. Miller's son, Caleb. And then Mrs. Miller was my special advisor. And I had another special advisor named Sammy Daly Dyson, who was really helpful. And then Mr. Miller was my first year teacher. He was my teacher of African religion my first semester. So I had a different kind of support system that just became. I didn't realize that it was not put in the works by anyone. It was just like my roommate was all these boys who wanted to live in the house. They wanted to live together, and I wanted to live in the house. And so we just kind of came together, and that was really helpful. So you talk about kind of these feelings of, not being comfortable, kind of being isolated, maybe awkward sometimes. Did you eventually shake that off, or did that persist throughout your time at Oberlin? I think it persisted throughout the time, but it manifested itself in a different way. I was also angry when I got there. And so I was just really angry. I didn't know how to express my emotions without getting angry, and that's where I was. That's why I grew up. You express your emotions through violence. That wasn't violent on campus, but I was on the edge of violence. My first year, because I didn't know how to dialogue. When it was talking about dialogue, I'm not dialogue. I don't know. We got cellulists. But I did become awkward. I still maintained the awkwardness. I never really got into the set with African American students. I lived in the house my first year, but then I started dating a Filipino girl, so that made me a little bit different. And I never really took that many African American studies classes. I took the literature classes because I liked those teachers. I took politics classes, but the more popular ones was African American music or African American history. I didn't take those. I never really fit in. I never really gelled well. I just kind of marched my own. I never went to any ABUSA meeting, whatever it's called. Never went to any of those meetings for Black Student Union. I just didn't feel like that was my how I interacted in the world there. But I was active in the African American community. I just didn't want to be associated with any group like that. Every history class I took a lot of American history. I was almost always the only Black student in there. So my loneliness manifests itself in a different way. Whereas once I was lonely because I didn't know how to associate with people, I didn't know how to engage. Now I'm lonely because I'm the only Black student in almost every class I take. Religious studies and the modern religious thought classes with David Kamiska, I was the only Black student most of the time. American history, the only Black student. Ethics, only Black student. And so the classes I was taking, I didn't have a lot of peers in who were I could dialogue with about school. And then I think at some times I started doing exceptionally well though. But my first year I got a 2.67. But by the end I was getting straight A's every semester.
Nice.
And so I was really alone in that way too, because not a lot of Black men, unfortunately, were doing that well in school. And so I made some decisions about who I was going to hang out with, how I was going to hang. That helped me academically, but made me march a beat of a different drummer every day.
Yeah. What changed from the 2.6 to the straight A's? How would you explain that?
I mean, school is a hustle, right? So you just once you figure out the hustle, you just kind of okay, that's what I got to do. So I remember taking a religious thought class with David Kamiska, and I'm not knowing how to read David Hume, and sitting in his office, I don't understand what this man is talking about, and crying. I really don't understand what he's talking about. And so what I would do is I would sit and I would just study from 7 to 10 every day. So I started studying a set amount of time every day, from 7 to 10. Every night I was studying the same spot by myself or with my girlfriend. And then I just started writing everything that David Hume said.